Hi, I'm Frank. I'm here with Scott from Party Foul. We're going to talk about deployment. So, Scott and I are going to play a game. I won the role, giving me the decision of whether to go first or second. My list, as I'm going to be putting it out in front of you and describing, wants to go first. It has a little bit more assassination potential, and Legion likes to clear board. And for that criteria alone, I would like to go first. Also, Scott can get some look at the scenery. So, turn and going first matters with what your opponent's army consists of, scenery, as well as what your army consists of. At the start of your game, you should go over what everything's going to be. So, Scott, we're going to play with this as a linear wall, provides cover.
Correct.
Same over here. Hill provides elevation. We don't have any trees on this, but this is going to be a forest, difficult terrain, and obstruction. So knowing that, and knowing that my list clears board and has some assassination potential, as well as the ability to deny things from my opponent, I want this side of the board to clear obstacles and take key points throughout the map, which will be able to contest and control the state of the board in the game. So, keep in mind, I could probably talk about turns forever, because there's just layers upon layers. Everyone's list, units, models, job, scenario, change everything. So hopefully just with a few tips and tricks that I show you in explaining what my list is trying to do can help to relate to yours. Any specifics, I'm pretty sure you can run discussions on the video, or if you contact Scott to kind of figure out what you want to do with your list. So I'm running a tier 4 Rias list. So I'm going to start out by just throwing down my units that have standard deployment. So, forest, big blocky, in the way. I don't have Pathfinder on one of my units, so what do I want to do? I want to get past it. So, line up my infantry unit, staggered off to the side, so that for the first turn, which I've taken, allows me not only to run on turn 1, but since I can run a little bit more willy-nilly and not have to worry about my opponent shooting me, I can put them off to the side. Okay, they're down. Warcaster, who has spells, who wants to go out, has a short control area, always wants to be relatively close to the center of your army so that you can get around all the good stuff and not worry about something being too far away at the beginning of the game. War beasts as such. So, I know I have difficult terrain, and this guy doesn't like that, so he goes on the other side. Quick, simple.
Wait, a Legion beast that doesn't have Pathfinder?
I know. Too many heads can't find his way around. So,
they try to go around trees. Each one.
So, I want to be able to protect him a little bit more. I'm going to have Tenacity available on the side. It's going to follow him around. Also, she'll be able to hand it off to the other side. So it's splitting up in deployment to know that I'm not going to have any issues with the movements of my models. Naga, he's just cool. He's got a gun. He's got Pathfinder, and he has Prowl, so he likes forests. So that's where we're going to go. Some Fury management on someone who's probably going to spend a little bit more Fury than he should. And that is my standard deployment. So, at this point in time, you'd have your opponent go, put down their stuff. I have advanced deployment. So I'm going to go into my advanced deployment. It doesn't really matter in this specific situation, because in the tier of this list, my advanced deployment is units that don't usually advance deploy. They are war spears, and since I have 2 units and I'm going first, they're just going directly in front. Taking advantage of the fact that I'm going to be going first, I'm just going to line them up directly in front, and they're just going to clear board and take those areas in which I said I want to be able to go. I want to clear board, get to a fence, have cover. This is all things that should factor when you start your game with your opponent, because having this planning done and knowing what you're going to be doing is what's going to ultimately help you win the game. So, have them down. These guys have Relentless Charge, so I'm going to be able to plant them on the side and not worry. Actually, I'm going to be able to even shuffle them over to the side because, like I said, it's turn 1. They're going to run, they're going to get out of the way. Just doesn't matter if they're a little bit out of position as long as they can run into the position they want to be. Alright, so that's my deployment. Caster central. Should always have your caster relatively central unless there's a module of your army that just doesn't care. And that's why something being over here doesn't really matter too much. The models that I have placed where they are do not have any speed bumps to slow them down and have clear objectives of where they want to go. These are just things that you can get used to, and they become second nature. Whenever you sit down at your table, you should just be able to sit down and figure out where you want to dictate the play of the game. Obviously, having two scenarios, which are roughly central, you know you're going to be having a skirmish roughly on the side. So having access to those key points are really important. Let's see, what else do I have? No, I think that's pretty much the gist of it, without being able to fully describe my opponent's side. So this is just will be the entry video, just showing you kind of a rough placement and why I did something, and hopefully you can relate that. We'll probably be able to expand on this a little bit more. There's going to be a lot more because deployment, turn, second, it's just everything, every factor should change what you want to do. So to follow this up, we'll probably do a reply deployment where I'll have an opponent put down their army, and then I will deploy my army in response to theirs. So why this unit would be lined up with this, why this is over here, or this support solo is over here, why this beat's there, and that'll also help to branch out further on what you want to do with your deployment. And that should be it.